Harmonica maintenance. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you one way I sterilize my harmonicas, and also your general harmonica maintenance. So can you guess what the 4 culprits of harmonica are? So I'm reading off a list because there's a lot I want to share here, and I think most of it's practical for you. So culprit number 1, of course, is oxidation, rust. And so we're going to talk about different ways that the harmonica could develop rust and how we can safeguard that. The second culprit is, I would say, particulates, whether it comes from our mouth itself or lint in the pocket, overplaying and stressing the reeds, and then sanitation we're going to talk about at the end. Okay? So first, let's talk about rust. So the harmonica is naturally made to be fairly oxidation proof, and they use metals that resist rust because we're constantly getting the harmonica wet with our saliva, right? So one of the things I do is I keep my mouth super clean when I play, and you'll see throughout this lesson, you'll see me rinsing my mouth. I don't want any residual food. I don't even want any residual sleep, whatever. I want to rinse the mouth and keep my mouth as clean as possible when I play harmonica. So rinse the mouth with water is preferable. If I was drinking a beverage that had any kind of sugars, like juice or anything alcoholic, then I would drink that and then I would follow it by rinsing my mouth with water. So always water is the last thing that goes in your mouth before you play harmonica, if possible. Or if your mouth is just clean, if you're out on the go and you don't have water but you know your mouth's clean, great. That's good enough for me too. Okay, so one problem, this isn't really a maintenance problem, but it is a performance problem, is you'll notice sometimes when you play you'll develop saliva. And one of the tricks to your playing, you'll have to learn this on your own. I don't really have any massive tricks on this. Have you ever had this experience where you blow saliva into the harmonica and then the harmonica reeds get stuck because there's so much moisture? So there's a way that I'm very conscientious. That doesn't happen to me anymore because I let saliva pool under my tongue. And then I look for opportunities to swallow. So I'm cognizant of the amount of moisture that my mouth is generating, and I'm swallowing, so I'm blowing the bare minimum amount of moisture into the harmonica. Okay, in terms of stressing the harmonica, especially when you first get a harmonica, excuse the loud glass sounds, but when you first get a harmonica, it's advised to not just go and wail on it right away, to break in the reeds a little bit. That's in particular, so that's in the family of overplaying. So at first you're supposed to break in the harmonica by playing at a moderate volume, let the reeds get adapted, and then over time you can really learn to wail on them. Okay, when I play, I moisten my lips. So I don't use lip balm or anything like that. I did that, I remember in the early days of harmonica, I put Vaseline. It's like, wow, the harmonica can go so fast. I've got Vaseline. But then the Vaseline would get all caked in the comb, and it became kind of gross. So what I do is I just, I rinse my mouth with water, and I moisten my lips, and I use the natural moisture of my mouth to lubricate the harmonica so it can slide. The first time I played harmonica on stage, I was so nervous, I had cotton mouth, and I couldn't play because the harmonica was just sticking to my lips, and like my lips were ending up on the other side of the room. So you will want to moisten your lips. Okay, now when I'm done playing, what I like to do is, ideally when I'm done playing, I'm going to let the harmonica air dry as quickly as possible because that's going to reduce the amount of oxidation or rust, right? The more that moisture just sits on the harmonica, the quicker the oxidation can happen. And I'd say probably all said and done, rust might be the #1 enemy to the harmonica. Well, actually playing loud or letting a kid play your harmonica and just wail on it, I don't ever let kids play my professional harmonicas. I usually keep in my case like a kid harmonica. That's the harmonica I'll share with someone. I mean, every once in a while there might be an exception, and then after which, all I do is I just rinse the harmonica under a faucet, or I'll show you the sterilization technique at the end that you could do if you really felt like you wanted to safeguard that. Now, this is really helpful. A case like this, you know, so this is a Hohner case. I like this case. It's pretty economical. There's different case options, but the nice thing is, see all this foam, and ideally when I'm done playing, I leave the case open if possible, and then all the harmonicas air dry. Ideally, I want them to air dry as quickly as possible. That's the goal. And so you can even do better than that. Like when I'm done playing this primary harmonica I'm using right now, I won't even put it in the case. I'll just set it out. You know, I'll set it out on my desk or something, and then I'll just let it air dry. And when I'm done playing, this is really important. Actually, before I put it away, I slap out the harmonica to release all the extra moisture that might have built up. And so holes down toward the hand, and I slap into the, and that way, and you might see sometimes moisture come out on your hand, and then let it air dry, okay? Now the last thing is sanitizing the harmonica. I don't sanitize my harmonica very often. I'm usually satisfied with just running some water under it, like just running it through the faucet, and then slapping out the harmonica like that, and then letting it dry as quickly as possible. So that's my basic technique. Then every now and then, I just noticed this harmonica was starting to get a little bit of a taste. And for me, it's a slightly bitter taste. And so what I do is, I put the harmonica in a glass that's as narrow as possible, and then once I do this, I might sterilize more than one harmonica because I'm going to waste this hydrogen peroxide. And then I'll fill it up. You can probably see some bubbles starting to accumulate in the harmonica right there as it's sterilizing. Yep, there's some bubbles. Anyway, so this, for me, I'm comfortable that anything that was in here is getting sterilized now. And it's also getting, if there was something that was solidified in there, it's now soaking, right? So it's getting soft. And then what I'll do, the second phase that I'm not going to show you, is I'll go into my bathroom when I'm done, and I'll rinse it with pretty strong, you know, full flow of the water. You could even take that little spray hose if you have one of those and blast it a little and try to just get any particulates that have gotten stored in there. And then the final step, two final steps would be, one, what would be the next step I would do? Because now there's going to be residual moisture in there. I'm going to slap out the harmonica on my hand, then a lot of moisture is going to come out. I'll get as much as I can out of there. And then I'll try to let it dry as quickly as possible by putting it in front of a fan, is what I do. I put it in front of a fan. Or you could put it in a window where there's a little bit of sunlight where you know it'll just dry fast. As quicker it can dry, the better. Now, I don't know I honestly don't know what the #1 sterilization technique is. I like this because I have had experiences where I've soaked in vinegar and alcohol, and then I can taste it. So with hydrogen peroxide, there's no residual flavor. The thing I will say is, and this I would not overuse, like I said, I haven't done this for 4 months. Hydrogen peroxide, I'm pretty sure, is an oxidizing agent, right? Because it liberates an oxygen molecule, and that oxygen, so I'm actually rusting my harmonica right now to a small degree. And so I don't want to overdo this technique. I'm doing a sterilize, you know, I'll let it sit there for like another 3 minutes, then I'll rinse it out, slap out the moisture, dry it, done, and I've got a nice clean harmonica, and it's not going to have that gnarly flavor. It's going to taste nice and clean. Okay? So that's harmonica maintenance. Thanks for bearing with me. I hope that was helpful to you. And again, please don't take any of my ideas as gospel. There's a lot of people probably who are way more into this than I am. I found, like I said, mostly just, you know, letting my harmonica, after I play, keeping my mouth clean and letting my harmonicas air dry quickly has been a sufficient technique for harmonica maintenance. And just every once in a while I do a technique like this. Okay? All right, see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for checking this out. Aloha.